Good morning. Actually, good afternoon. Today is Wednesday, July 2nd. It's about 12:30 in the afternoon. Just got a haircut. As you see your boy looking at me. Just got a haircut. So, feeling myself a little bit. Decided to come out here, talk a little bit. No B-roll today. Pretty much just straight to the point. What I wanted to talk about was everything I talk about is really just what's on my mind at the moment. But I talked, and people say I shouldn't do this. Trey doesn't think I should do this, and he's probably right. But I still be keeping in contact with my exes. I don't text them. Like, I don't go out my way to text them and talk to them. But if they text me, I text back. So, Shorty texted me and had a little convo with her. It was an okay convo. Had me feeling a little bit bad at the end, but I digress. It wasn't bad, but I noticed now too, because I'm not on social media a lot, but recently I downloaded TikTok, and this girl loves to post TikToks. But based off of her new TikToks, I could tell she got a new man. And a part of it, I ain't gonna lie, maybe just because I was with her, and I still do like her to a certain extent. Why I kind of feel some type of way, and I'm like, damn, that kind of sucks. I wish you the best, wholeheartedly. I wish you the best, but at the same time, that kind of sucks. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest, man. This is just truly my raw thoughts. But I really do hope for the best and she's okay. But it did help me seeing that. It did kind of have me rethink about our relationship and think about our ups and downs. And out of all the relationships I've been in, I really do try to analyze each and every one into how I can get better. And so far, actually, I've gotten better in each one. In each relationship I've had has been better than the last. I felt like I've carried myself better than before. I felt like I was able to handle situations better than before. So it's definitely a good thing. And I want to keep on doing that. Obviously, I would hate to kind of just keep going in and out of relationships, but every relationship, be able to take something from it, learn from it, and grow and get better. But here's one thing I felt like I did wrong with this relationship, and I broke up with her. But this is where I felt like I did wrong, and where I was wrong by this. And she ain't never said nothing to me about it. She ain't never brought it up later. She ain't never really had a problem in terms of she expressed it to me. But I felt like it wasn't right, and I don't want to do this again. I felt like I tried to change her, I have a ideal in terms of what I want the girl that I'm with or my wife or whatever to be like. And I felt like I put a lot of that on her. And I ain't gonna say I forced her to change, but I feel like I heavily insinuated that some of the things she was doing I didn't really enjoy. And that she ended up changing her behavior and who she was. And as soon as we broke up, all those things that she changed came back out. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem with my girl having social media. It's the way of the world. I'm on social media, but also I'm just not a big fan of a girl who's too into social media. And I felt like she was. But with me, she cut all that out. She ain't make TikTok, she ain't do none of that stuff, I'm not a big drinker, and I don't really want my girl to be a drinker. And she stopped drinking. She cut out drinking, she stopped drinking. And those are, I feel the two major things. I think there were other ways in which I made her change, but those are the two I feel main one is social media use and then alcohol. And she changed both of that. But as soon as I broke up with her, bro, Shorty made a TikTok the next day about our situation. And I'm like, damn. The next day she went out, she was drinking all the time. She told me that whole week she'd been drinking. And I'm like, damn. And I know heartbreak, some people find a way to cope, but it just shows unless someone wants to change for themselves and they actually want to make the change they made really isn't permanent, because they really still want to do it. And it showed, because I'm like, yo, we just broke up and you're drunk. It's yo, this really just happened. And I'm not trying to like shame her or make it seem anything like that, but it just made me show like, oh, okay. And kind of watching like other men who are in relationships and stuff like that, and kind of seeing other guys in relationships, and they've made their girls change for sure. Some women change because they want to keep their man, because they want to. Some women change because they genuinely feel like, hey, this is going to be good for me. Or some people just change because they're like, hey, well, I guess because this person likes it, I'll do it for them, but I don't really want to do it. And I don't really want to do that, you know? Like, I want to get a girl, and I have a certain ideology, and just because of me, she'll change. But she doesn't really want to change for herself. She just wants to change just because, you know, because of me, per se. And that's concerning because it's like, as soon as y'all break up, like, everything goes back. Like, you go back into those old habits. I don't know. But I felt bad for, like, making her change. Like, thinking about it, like, I felt bad for, like, changing her for what she was, you know? And I'm a pretty accepting person. You know, I try not to judge, but sometimes when I talk, it could give off a little judgy, I feel like, you know? Also, maybe just like being with somebody and you just hear that they don't like drinking and they're disdain for drinking, and then because that person wants to be with you, they end up hiding who they really are. And I hate that, you know, because I would want somebody to be truly themselves with me. Like, I don't want you to hide who you are. Like, be who you are, you know? I don't necessarily want my girl to be a drinker, but if that's who you are, like, that's who you are. And you can find somebody who will accept you to drink. You probably find somebody who's finna drink with you. You know, that's just not me per se. But I shouldn't have tried to change her or put certain ideals on her. And some of it could have just been me telling her about myself and she took it. But I do feel like there were times where, like, she might have had a drink and I was like, you know what I mean? Like, I just wasn't really too fond. I might have made a face or something. So obviously that part, that just falls on me for real. But that's kind of how I looked at the relationship, and something that I did that I don't really want to do again. I want to be able to accept somebody for who they are. And a part of accepting somebody for who they are is also just finding somebody who you want. And I know nobody's perfect, you know, like, what are the chances that you finna find somebody that checks off all your boxes? It's probably slim to none, to keep it a bean with you. But you can find somebody who checks off, I guess, the big stuff, right? And I think that's like the goal. It's like, find somebody to check off the big stuff, like the stuff that you really care about, like your hardcore morals and principles, and then the little things you could work with, you know? Because everybody gonna have quirks. You ain't gonna, no one's perfect. Everybody gonna have little quirks and stuff that you don't fully like, you know? And the thing with her was, I liked her as a person, personality-wise, she was real cool, but I felt like some of the big stuff we didn't really see eye to eye on. But I was like, yo, that's fine. I tried to overlook it, and then I tried to change her. But you can't change that big stuff. You know, you can't change who somebody really is like that. That's not right. That's not right. Because at the end of the day, it's going to come out. Now, whether we in a relationship together and it slowly starts to come out over time, or as soon as we break up, it might come out all at once. But if someone changed and they truly ain't want to change for themselves, they just doing it for you, eventually they're going to revert back to their old selves. And they might do it and just hide it from you. And now you got to deal with that. Now you got to deal with a lie, you know? That ain't really cool. That ain't really cool, man. But that was kind of on my mind because, you know, I saw a couple of TikToks of her referring that she had a man, and I truly do wish her the best. I truly do wish her the best in all her endeavors, you know? And I hope the next man that she with don't do what I did, like, don't try to change her, like, accept her for who she is. And that's something that I gotta work on, like, coming now, and women really ain't my main focus at the moment, but I know it will be. Or maybe I shouldn't say they will be my main focus, but I know that eventually I'm probably gonna start actively pursuing again. And when that time comes, it's just understanding, like, find a woman who really meets your goals and what you want. Like, don't find somebody because she's pretty and she seems cool, and then after that try to change her into what she really is, you know? Find a woman who has what you're looking for. And no woman's gonna have everything you're looking for, but if you can find a woman who has your core principles, you straight. And just go from there, Brody, and just keep it like that. But don't ever try to change anybody, ever. Accept everybody for who they are. Kevin Gates said, let somebody paint you a picture and then don't let them paint you another one. Like, that's who they are as a person. Accept them for who they are, appreciate them for who they are, and just understand the role, you know? In all reality, I probably should have never actually dated that woman. I should have just accepted her for who she was, had fun with her, and then kept it pushing, you know? But I wanted more. That's just the kind of dude I was. I wanted more. And I wanted her to, you know, carry herself a certain way and be a certain way. In my brain, I wanted the best for her, but I'm not God, so who's to say that what I'm trying to change her into is the best for her, you know? Because I don't really know truly what's the best for her. I think I do. I don't really know what's the best for her, you know? And at the end of it, I kind of ended up hurting her, unfortunately, so it's like, damn. So I thought I knew what was best, but I didn't. And at the end of it, she ended up being hurt. So I was like, dang, that's very, very unfortunate, you know? So going forward, I would like to continue to instill inside myself, accept everybody for who they are, and don't try to change nobody. Don't try to change anybody, you know? Find you somebody that things line up, morals line up with. So that's really it. Let's see how long. Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty quick video, but that's pretty much it. No B-roll, nothing crazy today. Just stuff that's been on my mind. I kind of just wanted to talk, get it out of my chest. I'm supposed to hang out with Trey, and I was gonna low-key record this with Trey, but I ain't gonna lie, sometimes certain things I wanna just record alone. That's how I am. But I'm finna go pick up Trey. We finna go chill for a little bit, but other than that, that's pretty much it. Been productive thus far this morning. Already, you know, as you see, got my hair cut. Already did my cooking and meal prep for the next 2 days. Got work tomorrow, 12 hours, and I got work on Friday because it's a holiday, so I work 16 hours on the 4th of July. So I just want to make sure my food and my stuff is in order. Yesterday, was able to get my laundry done. So these past couple of days, I've been pretty productive. Was able to pick up my stuff from the dry cleaners that needed to be taken care of. So now I'm going to chill with the Brody and enjoy the rest of this day. But thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Thank you, Brody. Keep on pushing, man. I love you. Don't stop. Don't give up. Keep grinding, man. Peace.